Hello, everybody. My name is Ryan Jones. I'm your instructor for Math 0300 as well as Math 0200, and I am excited for the course. I just wanted to do a quick little video to kind of describe the course, talk about what's going to be expected of you, what you're going to have to do, talk about what is expected of me, what I'm going to do for you. But while we do that, we'll also give a little tour of our course page in MyCourses. So we'll jump right in here. What you're looking at right now is our homepage for our course in MyCourses. The announcements are the first thing that I would note on here. You won't see this announcement, obviously. This is for anybody who's accessing the course early. But weekly announcements, and even sometimes multiple times during a week, I will post announcements that are filled with pertinent information for you. Please make sure that you are checking these announcements daily, at worst every other day, because sometimes I will post some time-sensitive things here, actions that you need to take. So please check these frequently, but I'll post weekly announcements right here. Aside from that, we'll go just kind of along this bar at the top where it says course home, content, assignment, so on and so forth. And we'll kind of just click through most of these and take a look at what's in each thing. What I do want to actually start off with is grades. And with that, I'm going to talk about how this course is a supported course. So this is Math 0300, algebraic literacy, but if you're in this section, you are also enrolled in Math 0200, which is a 1-credit course that's kind of just attached, almost like an addendum to Math 0300. And that Math 0200 is basically a support course. So it has a couple extra assignments, some extra help. I think a good analogy actually is if this was an in-person class, your lectures would be a little bit longer. And you'd have a little bit extra time to work on things in class. But this is an online class, so with that, Math 0200 manifests itself in extra assignments for you to work on. I know that maybe sounds annoying that you have more work to do, but the point of these is to help you nail down some of these fundamental topics a bit more. In the gradebook here, you can see I scrolled down. There's a whole bunch of homeworks and things like that, quizzes. We'll get into that in a moment. But looking at these Math 0200 specific assignments, you can see that there's 10 of them. 5 of them are video assignments, and 5 of them are just kind of normal like homework assignments. In the gradebook specifically, what I have done is I have weighted all of these as 0%. So I've weighted this category as 0%. The reason I've done that is because I don't want these grades for Math 0200 to affect your grade for Math 0300. Since you're getting different grades on your transcript for each of these two technically different courses, weighting this at 0 allows your gradebook to show your Math 0300 grade. With that, though, if you want to see what your grade is in Math 0200, that could be a little tricky. Well, what you'll notice is that each of these assignments here does actually have points associated with it. And what you will see is for this category, you will see a grade. For example, maybe it says 84.3%. Right there, that's your grade in Math 0200. However, like I just was kind of explaining, that 84.3% you have, because I've weighted it at 0 points for the grade book, it won't affect your Math 0300 grade. I've got a whole description of this here. If you have any questions on it, you can reach out to me, but I figured I'd just do a quick thing there. One thing to mention is that these homework assignments are worth 90% of the Math 0200 grade, while the video assignments are worth 10%. You got to make sure that you don't miss these homework assignments, because missing one out of the 5 of them is a big hit on your grade. So there you go. Just a kind of quick intro there. We can see in the grade book there's so many other things here. We have exams, we have quizzes, we have homeworks, we have video assignments. We'll jump into all of those. We have discussions as well. We'll talk about all those as we continue on through this top bar here. So We'll get to content in a moment. That's definitely the most important, but I do want to just talk about assignments really quickly. Now, these are not actual like assignments in here. It's a little bit misleading. I can't change the name of this tab bar called assignments, so we're kind of stuck with it. But in this assignments location is where you will submit your handwritten work for each of your exams. So with the exams that we take, you are required to handwrite your work with pen and paper, pencil and paper, and you will take pictures of that, turn them into a PDF, and upload them right here to the place that we're looking at. That way I can grade your exams kind of manually, if you will, rather than having the computer and the online software grade it. I can give you partial credit. I can look at your work and I can actually grade the math. So you got to do that. That's a little bit confusing of where you upload this, but it is in the assignments folder. Quizzes is another interesting one. And you'll see there's no quizzes here. But keep in mind, as we saw in the gradebook, and as I'll show you in a little bit, we do have weekly quizzes for our course material. They just don't appear in this quizzes tab. So if you hear me ever say quiz, or if you ever see an announcement that talks about a quiz, I'm not talking about this quizzes tab. I'm talking about our actual weekly quizzes that we'll take a look at in a moment of where those are. So cool. Let's click on content. Let's kind of go through here. So with this, on the left side of the screen here, you can see a whole bunch of these clickable modules, and that's exactly the name that I will use for them. They are called modules. So we have some welcome modules, a couple other extra things, and then you can see most of these are the weekly modules 1 through 10 right here. So looking at this, definitely look at these welcome modules right now, right? As you're watching this video, or maybe when you finish watching this video, click on these welcome modules and click through them. There's some fun things in here, a little bio about myself, some intro, welcome messages and things about the course, some informational things. Of course, the course schedule and the course syllabus. These are big documents that you'll want to look through, especially the course schedule, as that outlines what we're going to do each week. How to, another module, some things here. I'll let you look at those yourself, just some nice little videos and links on how to do certain things. My lab math. Now this module is used for pretty much all of your deliverables, all of your homework, all of your quizzes, all of your exams. There are some things you have to do outside of this, but this is the primary location for where you will do your work, your homework, and exams for the course. I'll click on this in a moment to kind of show us what this place looks like, but we have the module right here, and there's a whole bunch of things here, technology support, textbook, and I'll let you look through those. But let's go into these weekly modules. Let's click on week 1, and let's take a look at kind of what this looks like. All 10 of these that you can see on the left side, all of these modules should look nearly identical. I've done that purposefully so that it's easy to just go week in and week out. But you can see the title shows the sections that we'll cover that week. It shows the dates that week runs for. And in here, I cover, just in a quick outline, what sections we're covering and what that entails mathematically. I also have a list of assignments and their due dates. But one thing I do want to point out, this is a good one to look at. I have a note here that talks about how week 1 starts on a Monday, but this is actually a little bit different from most of the weeks that we have. So in our course, most of our weeks will start on a Tuesday and end on a Monday. Now, I have my reasons for doing that. You can ask me if you're curious about those, but what you can expect is almost like the rollover from week to week happens overnight from Monday to Tuesday. So with this, your new assignments, your new homework, your new quizzes, they are going to go live on Tuesday. You will have some assignments due on Thursday. It's kind of a midweek deadline. And then most of the kind of bulk of the assignments will be due on Monday. Now, there are some exceptions to this pattern. We have spring break that we have to deal with, and the end of the semester actually ends on a Sunday instead of a Monday. So there are some discrepancies in this kind of Tuesday to Monday schedule. I've made notes just like this everywhere applicable for you to see, but keep in mind that usually Tuesday to Monday, but sometimes not. So keep an eye out for that. Looking at these assignments, I'll highlight right here. This is kind of the typical weekly thing that you would see. So on that midweek due date, usually a Thursday, you will have to do what's called a discussion post. I'll touch on that in a moment. And you will have to go into that My Math Lab and do video assignments, okay? These video assignments are basically just short videos for you to watch that cover the topics of each of these sections. By the end of the week, you have to do a discussion reply. That's definitely connected to the discussion post. We'll touch on that in a moment. But then you have to finish your homework and the quizzes in My Math Lab. So each section has its own homework, and then there's one quiz that covers, in this case, all 4 of those sections, and you got to do that. These quizzes require a password. The password is just quiz. Basically, I do that so that you actually have to type the word quiz. I had a lot of students accidentally starting the quiz without intending to, so by putting a password, it makes you actually type in quiz, which prevents the accidental starting of it. So one thing to note is that with these quizzes, you have to complete the video assignments first. My Math Lab will not let you access these quizzes until you have done those video assignments. So that shows the due dates, kind of a good explanation of the midweek and the end of week, due dates. Within each of these weekly modules, I have a link that takes you right into My Lab Math. And so you can click on that to go do your assignments. I have a link that for this one, you can see it's not blue. It doesn't let me click on it at all. But when these discussion posts go live, this will be available and you'll be able to do these discussion posts. We'll talk about those in a moment. Don't worry. And sometimes in these extra modules, let's click on another one. Let's click on like week 4. Sometimes there's extra lecture videos. So these are just kind of supplemental videos that I thought were helpful. And so I highly recommend watching these before you try to jump in and do your homework. Not every weekly module has these. As you can see, week 1 did not have any extra lecture videos, but some of them do, some of them don't. Let's click on week 3 right here as well, because this is a week where we actually have an exam due. And again, this all looks fairly similar. We have some topics to cover. It shows, I tell you what they are mathematically. We have some due dates. You can see the same pattern, a discussion post, video assignments in My Math Lab, discussion reply is due at the end of the week, homework and quiz is due at the end of the week, but then in addition, you have an exam due at the end of the week. Same thing as the quizzes. It has a password just so that you don't accidentally start the exam. And then we have the associated links here that might be useful to you, for such as an exam review, extra lecture videos like I already talked about, and discussion posts like I already talked about. This pattern pretty much just continues every single week. So should seem fairly repetitive in that sense, which I hope makes it easier for you to kind of navigate the course and know what you have to do on a week-to-week basis. So where we're at now is there's basically two places that we need to go look at a little bit deeper. We need to look at My Math Lab. We need to actually look at what that looks like. And we need to talk about these discussions. So let's start with these discussions first. As you would probably expect if you had a keen eye earlier in the video, it says discussions right at the top bar here. So if we click on this, we can scroll down and we can see all these discussions. Now, some of these are hidden, right? You can't see, not some of them, all of them are hidden until the date that they open. So you can't actually see what these are yet. But usually what these entail is they entail watching some sort of video or watching some sort of article, or maybe you're going into our e-text and you're reading some of these study skills, or maybe you're doing a discussion about exam review, kind of any of the, above things that I just noted. But basically you'll have to follow these discussion posts, and you know what I'm going to do? I'm actually going to stop viewing this as a student so that we can actually see what these look like. But in these discussion threads, you are going to be required to make a post by the midweek deadline, so usually a Thursday. And you can see, for example, like create an introduction post about yourself. But then in this one, it goes here, post by Thursday. Pick one of these suggestions, talk about these bullet points. Then by the end of the week on Monday, you have to reply to another student's post, saying something thoughtful, solving a problem that they, needed help with. Maybe if they posted a problem that they did and they made a mistake, maybe call that out, talk about what they could have done to fix that. I give good outlines of kind of what I'm expecting here with these replies. I definitely don't want them to be boring replies. Don't just say, this looks great, thanks. Be meaningful. Say something, right? Something fruitful, because everybody can look at these. Everybody will be looking at these posts. And hopefully the goal here is that by doing these study skills and these exam reviews, it helps you. It helps your fellow students when they get to see what everybody else is doing. So have fruitful, thoughtful replies, and that'll go a long way for everybody in the class. We have one of these almost every week. I think there's maybe 1 or 2 weeks where we don't, but they are right here in the discussions. But you can also see these in the weekly modules. I mean, we looked at this just a moment ago, but I'm in weekly module 7, for example, and if I scroll down, it shows the vocabulary discussion topic right here. This is the same exact thing that you could see before in the discussions tab, where you could view all the discussions. This just shows the one that you have to do this week. So solely just for ease of viewing, it's right here in addition for you. So there shouldn't be any I guess, miscommunication of like where these discussions are and when you have to do them, because they're all within each weekly module. So wonderful. So let's go into My Math Lab. You can see right here, I've got a link again within each week, within each weekly module, but there's also this module here, and there's a whole bunch of stuff in here. You can click through all these. Our e-textbook, I think, is a big one right here. Some support things, chapter reviews. I mean, there's so many things. I think the biggest one that you'll probably click on is just the course home right here at the top. If I click on this and open this up, I will note that this looks a little bit different for me right now on this video than it will for you, because I'm the instructor. So this is actually showing my view of it. Yours should be fairly similar, but I like this instructor view because it does allow me to kind of show our assignments a little bit better than the student view does. So I've clicked on Assignment Manager, and you can see here's a whole bunch of assignments, and I can keep scrolling down for a while, right? But all of these assignments are split into video assignments, homework assignments, Math 0200 specific video and homework assignments. There's weekly quizzes that you can see right here. If I scroll all the way down, here's your final exam. If I scroll part way down, here's exam 2. We have all of these different types of assignments, and they're all contained right here. And you have your start date and due dates here. They're all listed, right? And this is you'll pretty much just click into here, and you'll just see it'll pop right up on what you have to do for the week. I'm going to emphasize again, some of these are due midweek, and some of them are due at the end of the week. So make sure that you're checking in and working on these things multiple times throughout the week. So yeah, this is My Math Lab. One thing I will note, the gradebook in here, you can obviously use that to see your grades on these. I personally recommend not bothering with that, and I recommend looking at the actual gradebook that's in MyCourses back on our homepage, which was up here. This says grades at the top. This will be a bit more updated. It shows all of our grades, so I recommend looking in the MyCourses gradebook rather than the My Math Lab gradebook. There's other things like the study plan. There's so many things in My Math Lab, including, like I've mentioned, our textbook, our e-text. I highly recommend you look through those. I'm not going to do that in this video just for time purposes, but I highly recommend you look through those. So, honestly, that is a big that's honestly like a big overview of our course. I could get more specific on a bunch of things, but then again, like I said, I want to be careful about time on this video. So just as a very, very quick overview of what we've talked about here, kind of a TLDR, right? A too long didn't read, like we like to do at the end of emails. So you have a typical week in our course, usually starting on a Tuesday and ending on a Monday, with Thursday being a midweek deadline. Those dates sometimes change, but that's usually what it is. And with that, you have a discussion post to make by Thursday, and that discussion post happens in My Courses right up here on the discussions tab. But then due by Thursday, you also have these video assignments for My Math Lab that you got to click into My Math Lab and go in there and do those. But then by the end of the week on Monday, usually Monday, you have to reply to another student's discussion, again, in My Courses. And you also have some homeworks and some quizzes and possibly an exam, depending on the week, that are all in My Math Lab. Grade-wise, Math 0200 and Math 0300 are split. The grades for them are independent of one another. So make sure that you are not missing those Math 0200 specific assignments, because missing one of them will give a decent hit to your Math 0200 specific grade. We have the course schedule and the course syllabus that you can look through if you have questions about really any detail of the course. They're usually in the course syllabus, but you can always reach out to me if you have questions or need help. Our exams will have the three exams, right? Exam 1, Exam 2, and the final, and you will submit your work, your handwritten work for the exams in this assignments tab in My Courses. And I'll post plenty of details about all that and how to do that and whatnot as we approach those exams. So that is pretty much it. Hopefully I didn't go too long in this video, but if you made it here to the end, I appreciate it, and thank you for listening. I'm excited for a good semester and for a good course. And the thing I'll finish off with and just kind of end with is please, if you ever have any questions about administrative things in the course, if you have questions about the math content that we're working on in this course, if you feel like you don't understand a topic, if you feel like you're struggling with your homework, if you have questions even about, hey, what math course should I take after this, do not hesitate to reach out to me. My email is ryan.jones@frontrange.edu. It's just my name with a period. So please email me, talk to me, communicate with me, let me know how you're doing and how you're feeling with this course. I don't want you to feel like you are on your own and that you have to teach yourself. Even though this is an online course and a lot of the impetus is put on you to access the material and learn the stuff, I still am your teacher, just as if this were an in-person class. So I am happy to help you. I am happy to meet with you one-on-one and talk about course material. Please utilize me as a resource. I'll go ahead and end the video there. Again, thanks for watching, and I am excited for another semester.